Live from Siouxland's news source, this is KTIV News 4.
Coming up, protest preparations. Students at a Northeast Nebraska college gear up to protest that school's response to an alleged sexual assault. Plus, after declining federal funding to help feed Iowa children this summer, Governor Kim Reynolds now asking for funding next summer, but there's a catch. And Nebraska's governor threatens to veto a bill lawmakers passed to cut property taxes. Find out why. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Breen. Jessica Bowman has the night off. A weekend protest is planned in Wayne, Nebraska to object to Wayne State College's response to allegations of sexual assault on campus. Back in May, authorities arrested 21-year-old Nakutendeshe Mtembe and Katlego Nkwandela, both of South Africa. At the time of the incident, Mtembe was a student at Wayne State and Nkwandela had recently withdrawn from the school. They're both charged with first-degree sexual assault. Nkwandela faces a charge of procuring or selling alcohol to a minor as well. Those charges follow a series of events on April 6th and 7th on the Wayne State College campus. In response, Wayne State issued a statement which reads in part, quote, "At Wayne State College, our commitment to creating a secure and supportive environment for every student is unwavering. Anytime an allegation of on-campus sexual assault is made, Wayne State College responds, both out of concern for the welfare of our students and consistent with our obligations under the law," end quote. The victim in this case, 20-year-old Krista Reynoldson, has been vocal on social media about Wayne State's response to her allegations. She agreed to talk with KTIV's Connor Trett about Wayne State's response. Reynoldson says initially Wayne State offered her free counseling and class extensions. Wayne State told Reynoldson her alleged attacker was given dorm probation, but Reynoldson claimed he had broken that probation 3 times before. After that, Reynoldson says her repeated questions went unanswered by the school.
I asked the college simple questions as to if he's put back on dorm probation, will there be any repercussions? Will there be anything done? Like, will anything happen out of this? And they were unable to answer those questions. They were unable to answer the question of how many times can he be put on probation.
Wayne State acknowledged Reynoldson's frustration in a statement to KTIV, saying, quote, "Our legal obligations following an allegation of on-campus sexual assault are dictated to us by Title IX, and we acknowledge that many students and community members find those processes and standards frustrating. However, we want to affirm that we take all allegations of sexual assault very seriously," end quote. So what is Title IX and how does it relate to the Wayne State allegations? Title IX is a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in education programs and activities. All public and private schools, school districts, colleges, and universities that get federal funds have to comply with Title IX. And under Title IX, discrimination on the basis of sex can include sexual harassment or sexual violence, such as rape or sexual assault. Reynoldson says she and others want Wayne State to change its Title IX policy, and they insist on greater transparency in the college's handling of assault cases.
They were just copying and pasting their Title IX policy. If Title IX is doing everything that they can, then something in this policy is flawed severely.
Several current and former Wayne State students have organized a protest on the college's campus. It'll be held at the Willow Bowl this Sunday beginning at 4 p.m. Both Mtembe and Nkwandela have pleaded not guilty to the charges they face. Nkwandela's trial is set for November 19th. However, Mtembe has filed a plea in abatement in Wayne County Court. Mtembe's attorney has asked the judge to dismiss the charges his client faces because the attorney believes prosecutors lack sufficient evidence that a crime was committed, and there's a lack of probable cause to believe that his client even committed a crime. A hearing on that is set for September 4th. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected a Biden administration request to enforce new civil rights protections for LGBTQ+ students under Title IX. The rule is now on hold by federal judges in 10 states and blocked in 16 states as part of other lawsuits. The rule was set to take effect this month. It clarified that Title IX's ban on sexual discrimination in schools covers discrimination based on gender identity and sexual identity. The rule had also listed provisions for pregnant and postpartum students. TikTok is fighting back again as its future remains uncertain here in the United States. The social media platform is denying storing sensitive American user data in China. That's something the U.S. Justice Department has accused the Chinese-based company of doing. In a new court filing, TikTok urged the federal appeals court to block a law that could result in a nationwide ban of that app. The company says in its filing that the U.S. government has no evidence that China has ever accessed American user data. Police have now made an arrest after racist flyers were posted on Latino-owned businesses in the town of Hampton, Iowa. The flyers were posted on about a dozen businesses. Those read in part, USA Illegal Immigrant Hunting Permit, Trump 2024. One of the businesses targeted, La Luz, a Latino community organization. An employee says the message rattled her.
I was honestly scared because of the wording. It says hunting, like we were animals or something.
The Franklin County Republican Party says the flyers were meant to divide people and create a rift. The Republican Party of Iowa says violence has absolutely no place in politics. We strongly condemn these acts, and whomever is responsible should be held fully accountable. Hatred like this is inexcusable. 38-year-old Daniel Embry now has been arrested for the crime by Hampton police. Officers located clothing consistent with surveillance video and found documentation indicating that he was the one producing the flyers. Embry faces 8 counts of harassment, 1 count of trespassing with the intent to commit a hate crime. All of those charges are serious misdemeanors. After 2 gloomier days in Siouxland, much nicer conditions took over today, but will we stay sunny and dry, or is there more rain in the forecast for the weekend? First Alert forecaster Elizabeth Breen joins us now with a first look at that forecast. How about it, Elizabeth?
Yeah, we should stay fairly dry. However, we do have a little bit of a chance of seeing some showers, especially west of I-29 as we head into our Sunday and Sunday afternoon. But otherwise, again, should be a pretty nice weekend where we do stay beautiful and dry just like today. And our director Trevor did tell me to take a look at the Okoboji cam because we had a beautiful sunset over there. So this will start going for us if we can even watch it. Is it going to go, guys? Taking any bets? All right, there we go. Take a look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? A beautiful sunset in Siouxland, and that could be seen across the KTIV viewing area, not just in places like Okoboji, because we had a lot of that clearing on our satellite and radar. We could see those clouds on our Okoboji cam where they were earlier in northeastern Siouxland today, but those have really started to move out. Just a couple of lingering showers still making their way out, but again, should be dry through the overnight hours tonight. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper 60s. We're at 69 here in Sioux City, and dew points in the low to mid 60s. Winds have calmed down quite a bit from earlier today where we saw gusts of up to 30 miles per hour in some locations, and we'll continue to keep things cool through the overnight hours. So we do have those rain chances in store for us. I'll have all the details and what we can expect in the work week ahead coming up in a little bit.
All right, Elizabeth, look forward to that forecast. After declining federal funding to help feed kids this summer, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is now asking for that federal funding for next summer, but with a catch. It would fund school meal sites instead of providing families direct money for food. Iowa submitted an application with the USDA for its Sunbucks program, also known as the Summer EBT program. It provides kids with $40 a month on a debit card that can only be used at grocery stores for food. Last year, Governor Reynolds declined about $29 million in federal funding for the program, citing poor nutritional standards. In short, the governor's office is concerned the debit cards would be used to buy junk food instead of healthy meals like the ones provided at the schools. The USDA then criticized Reynolds' proposal to redirect its summer EBT program funding into school meal sites. Quote, "Through this waiver request, the governor is asserting that the state knows better than its own families do about what their needs are," end quote. Reynolds responded to that by saying in a statement of her own, the USDA's stated purpose of the Sunbucks program, Summer EBT program, is to make sure every child has access to food when school is not in session. The Iowa Demonstration Project will do exactly that while providing more children with more food and better nutrition, end quote. Lawmakers in Nebraska advanced a bill today to address property taxes. Late today, LB 34 passed a second round of voting on a 39-8 vote. The bill would make it easier for property owners to get a tax credit and limit how much local governments can increase their property taxes. Communities would be able to hold special elections to override the caps. Governor Jim Pillen, he's threatened to veto the bill if it passes with more changes on collection caps. Pillen is calling for growth of property taxes to be capped at inflation levels or 0%. Today, senators addressed this lengthy special session.
I really believe it'll be a travesty if we come, we meet for however many weeks we're going to meet here, and then we're not able to come to some type of a solution.
All of this just needs to die, and we need to go home and come back in January and figure this all out.
The third vote on that bill is scheduled for next week. Ben Sasse, the former Nebraska senator, is under fire after a University of Florida campus newspaper revealed that Sasse, as that university's president, skyrocketed school expenses by giving high-paying jobs to former members of his U.S. Senate staff and Republican allies. The student-run publication, the Independent Florida Alligator, reported that spending tripled under Sasse when he hired his aides and allies and gave them salaries much higher than similar positions. Sasse defended his expenses, saying they were necessary for additional satellite campuses and improvements in the science, medicine, and technology programs. Sasse resigned on July 31st after 17 months in office, citing his wife's health problems. After $20 million in cost overruns and nearly a year of delays in opening, the new Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center has entered the home stretch. This morning, the LEC Authority said it expects the project's contractor, the Goldberg Group, to issue a certificate of substantial completion for the facility by Monday. The authority plans to officially turn over the keys to the county next week. At that point, the sheriff's office and other county officials will start the process of moving into that $70 million facility. After substantial completion, the general contractor, Houseman Construction, will have 60 days to finish up the rest of the work to achieve final completion, even as the facility is up and operating. The current 37-year-old LEC in downtown Sioux City, that will be taken down.
We've done everything we can to continue to utilize assets that are in the old building, so that will be part of the move process. But once that's completed, then the old building will be torn down, and the property, as part of our original agreement with the city of Sioux City, the property will be turned over to the city of Sioux City, and then it will be up to them to do whatever they want to do.
The new Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center will be able to house nearly 450 inmates. It has 4 courtrooms and offices for the county sheriff, county attorney, state judicial branch, and other county and city officials. An open house is planned for September 18th for the public to come in and check out the facility. After that, the inmates get moved in. Representatives from the Iowa Department of Transportation and Sioux City Parks and Recreation offered an update today on the Big Sioux River Trail construction project, and they recently placed an urgent request for trailgoers to obey the barricades for their safety. KTIV's Morgan Jones has more.
The permanent repairs we will have to design over the winter. We are looking at hopefully being able to open up maybe part of the trail next year.
Iowa DOT is performing an emergency project along I-29 and the multi-use path that was impacted by the historic flooding of the Big Sioux River.
It is a challenging work site. We have to access it from the shoulder of the interstate right now, and then it goes onto the trail for a ledge. And so we're trying to make that determination. So we're hoping to open it as soon as possible, but there are scour holes under the trail, and from the naked eye, you can't see it.
The bike trail is currently blocked off with barricades and no trespassing signs from Riverside Park to Chris Larson Park.
Because Iowa DOT has posted it as a DOT right-of-way and no trespassing, it's subject to a $10,000 fine and jail.
The project consists of stabilizing the riverbank using excavators, dump trucks, and large rocks until a permanent repair can be made. As of Tuesday, August 13th, a slope failure caused 100 feet of emergency repairs to end up in the Big Sioux River.
The slope is so unstable, and as the Big Sioux recedes, we have scour damage that we cannot always see with the naked eye. And we had dumped a load of rock. 30 seconds later, 2,500 ton of rock ended up in the Big Sioux River.
Felix says the estimated cost of the permanent reconstruction process is near $5 million. In Sioux City, Morgan Jones, KTIV News 4.
Now, if you're interested in the repair work, there are traffic cameras set up where you can find videos of the process. That's on 511ia.org. Crews continue preparing for the flood-damaged BNSF rail bridge for demolition this coming Monday. Here's video of the bridge just over the Big Sioux River from Thursday morning. Crews are dismantling the remaining structure, specifically removing the tracks from the bridge to prepare for Monday's blast. It's set for 9 a.m. Monday morning, and we'll broadcast the blast live on KTIV and all of our digital platforms, including News 4 Now. This detonation is on the South Dakota side. The second controlled blast, that happens Friday, September 6th on the Iowa side. Officials remind people to stay away from the bridge at blast time. In fact, there will be a 1,000-foot exclusion zone around it.
Celebrating 70 years. Matt Breen, Jessica Bowman, Chief Meteorologist Rhonda Mars, and Sports Force with Jason Moeller. This is KTIV News 4 at 10.
Let the carving begin. We'll highlight a unique event in Storm Lake, Iowa, where artists grabbed chainsaws to turn logs into works of art.
Plus, we have a gorgeous Saturday ahead of us, but we could see some showers moving in on Sunday. All of the details coming up in just a little bit.
We need your photos